Angela!
What's up, everybody out there in YouTube land? Wrath2501 here. Alright, guys. We've got a video that has been requested many times. This is a video by Plant. And this is My Dog Was Lost for 3 Days, an SFM creepypasta. So, we got the guys with us. Hatless, Walker, Carter, Rocker. You know, basically the A-team. Alright. They're being very quiet. They're not saying hi. Either they kicked me out. They kicked me out of the chat.
I'm Laffy McLafferson, and
God.
this is Laugh. Hello. Fun.
Speaking of which, Rocker, given that the little bit of horror that you showed us just recently, yes, quite. Just wanted to let you know that, old chap, I was recording the entire thing.
Oh my god.
I was recording your SCP reading. Yes, I was recording that. I was also recording the entire video as you showed it on your stream. Yes.
Okay, so we get both. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I thought it was you know, cohesive to keep them together, you see. So I thought this was an excellent opportunity to catch you in an unscripted environment, you see, old friend. So you know, that video will be coming up eventually. So everyone can look forward to that. I also want to get your voice acting chops out there because you do good voices.
Yes, that helps.
Yeah,
yes.
it
So
does.
yeah. So we gotta get Rocker's voice chops out there. You know, speaking of Rocker's voice chops, I'm thinking about doing. Might be working on another episode of the Left 4 Dead series with the mercenaries that we were doing. So hope you guys enjoy it. With Rocker as the director of the. Well, no, you weren't the director of the you weren't director of the FBI, but you were director of an organization within the Pentagon. So let's just put it that way. Anyway,
the FBI. The FBI.
Let's just say you technically fall under the classification of as no such agency.
The FBI. Yeah. Flanagan, Brannigan, and Efskovich. Detectives.
Okay. Anyway, you guys are seeing the stream? Yes?
Yep.
Alright, so let's get started. See what happened to this dog. Alright.
Who's got that dog in him?
What?
Really?
Okay, 5 minutes into the video. What the dog doing? I forgot to adjust my microphone, so they're probably, okay, you guys should hear my voice better now.
What?
Fuck. No,
What?
well, I have to... For some reason, when I'm using the microphone with my camera, the camera just, literally just sucks up everything. So I have to turn the gain on my microphone, almost all the fucking way down. Otherwise, my voice comes out really loud.
Too loud.
Too loud. Anyway, let's get going. All right, and go. Oh, heavy does
As a
not
kid, I
feel
was
right.
raised in a small fishing community on the eastern side of Canada.
Hang on, wait, pause it real quick.
Surrounded by the
Okay.
Laugh is filmed in front of a studio audience.
Jesus, dude, stop.
Yeah.
Gulf of St. Lawrence.
Today's
and the
episode,
forest.
dog is missing.
Dude.
Oh
The
god,
entirety of the
really?
land was close
Have
to
you seen my
4,000
dog?
foot square, with an even smaller number of residents sprawled out over Main Street, the main road running straight through our little town, and farming houses spread wide between areas of trees that were changed to domestic residential homes when agriculture stopped being profitable. In total, our community is surrounded by a vast expanse of ocean, and a seemingly endless barrage of trees that spread over 55% of Canada's entire country.
That's literally just Canada.
Oh,
in general.
you're in Canada, eh?
Yeah, that's pretty much Zero's
hey, buddy.
homeland.
You can have all my money in my leg.
In my leg. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's right. This is. I didn't even know this took place in Canada, and now I'm really wishing that Zero was here. You know.
Yeah.
We could have used the the native perspective on the situation. You know.
Hey, I lived in Canada for a few years. Give me some credit.
Yeah, but you're not native to Canada. Also, this is trying to be multicultural here.
Yeah.
Are Canadians a culture?
Yeah, We're gonna put that under a classification of maybe.
Hey, we're gonna put a pin in that for friends right now. Damn, man.
We're gonna just put that under the maybe.
Well,
section.
we won't
Yeah.
we won't go over Walker's rampant racism against Canadians. Okay, so
Continue.
okay, and he's still quiet. Walker hasn't said shit.
Yeah, what gives?
He probably took off. Probably went to go take
He's
a
dead.
shit. He's dead. He probably went to go take a shit, and then he died taking a shit.
I spent most of my life hunting in those woods.
How do
So
you
you can
hold a
imagine my
gun that
joy.
small?
My parents got me a hunting dog. Sandy was a Shetland sheepdog, and while they were more fit
That's
to
not
be
a dog.
herding and tracking sheep over grassy plains rather than rabbits and deers through dense forest, it didn't stop me from taking him with me on every excursion I possibly could.
Aww.
Sandy had been by my side for enough hunting trips that he'd grown accustomed to waking up just before breaking daylight. And on a few occasions, helped track down small game like squirrels and rabbits through considerably large areas of
Squirrel!
forest.
Squirrel!
Sandy wasn't my property, and wasn't treated like he belonged to me. Sandy was a member of the family, my best companion,
The bull says scud.
Yeah.
and my truest friend. I think back on all the times he'd sit in the front seat of the truck without being told, ready to go for a walk in whatever part of the forest I told him to.
Got my dog and my beer inside my truck.
My truck.
My wife's is in back because she won't shut up.
Shut up.
There's a deer in the headlights, though it might be a sin. I got the motor and run over him.
Oh my god.
Okay, let's keep going.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't go any further. I'm gonna copyright it.
Yeah.
That's for your channel.
I'm gonna get attacked by puppets in the middle of the night. Let's keep going. It's just that the opportunity was there and I couldn't resist, man.
There'll never be a
Yeah.
dog that will fill the void Sandy left in my life.
Aww.
Oh.
I find that dog lovers relate to that sentiment more than others.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was
Dogs are
October
just too
30th,
precious. I mean, we really don't
the
deserve
first day
them.
of deer hunting season. I had been talking with my family about taking Sandy, my hunting gear, and a few essentials to one of the cabins my grandfather owned in his heyday off an unmarked road a few hundred miles into the wilderness for a few days. This was met with a lot of protesting, but nothing could stop me from getting in some time looking for wild game in an area that wasn't already picked clean by illegal hunters earlier in the month. Everything was packed into the old blue
Damn,
Ford,
he's taking a
Sandy
lot,
included.
dude.
And a few
Yep.
hours of driving later, we were setting up camp in one of my grandfather's secluded old cabins. Here's where things got fucked up.
Oh.
Sandy, I'm so sorry. I had spent most of the time of my life being in the wilderness. There were only a handful of times that things had gotten weird for me, but usually everything could be explained with scientific reason. That's why I brushed off Sandy's weirdness in the first few nights, chalking it up to the nervousness of a dog that's capable of hearing the far-off noises of various coyotes, wolves, bears, and moose. This was untouched territory, of course. There had been plenty of time for wildlife to set up camp here, too. The first night was fairly normal. I had set up Sandy's bed in the corner of the living room next to the TV that looked like it had come from the early 90s. I figured I'd give Sandy the option to have some place to lay down for a while, despite the fact that he slept curled up with me 9 times out of 10. Close to 10 at night.
Aw.
Good
Sandy
doggy.
looked straight at the wooden door
And growled.
and whined.
Oh.
I figured he needed to piss, and opened the door to let him out, not worried about having my best friend stray too far from me. Instead, he just sat inside the door, looking out at the forest edge beyond the path. I too stood and looked for a few minutes before deciding he had just heard an errant creature close to the cabin. The rest of the night was fairly normal, and Sandy slept with me fine. The second night, I chalked the weirdness up to Sandy's stress. Earlier that day, we had been walking a few miles through the woods beyond the house, and I thought I heard the sound of twigs cracking under something heavy. I hoped it wasn't a moose because my shotgun wouldn't have stood a chance, but something changed.
You're just gonna piss it off.
I didn't pay close
Yeah,
attention to at the
exactly.
time. He hunched himself on his hind legs, his foot pressed close to the ground, his mouth pulled up over his teeth, and he growled towards
There's
nothing.
something out. There's something out there.
I
And
think
it's
I should
watching
try
you.
hunting later, if whatever it was had left. And should he be feeling up to it? But
Okay, let's go over this right now. This mofo has not seen any fucking movie ever. All right.
Apparently not.
I know.
Apparently.
When your dog starts acting like that, I think I should get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
It's like, jeez, man. Like, take the hint. All right. Your awareness is trash. All right, dude.
And you should feel bad.
Yes, exactly. There you go. It is bad, and you should feel bad. Good one, Rucker.
It's a honestly just a skill issue.
Probably.
You
Get
have
good.
a 1 in perception. You
Oh,
rolled a nat 0.
oh,
you rolled a
damn.
nat 0.
Damn, man, you didn't have to do him like that. Shit.
Yeah, exactly.
You rolled a nat 0 for perception, buddy.
Is Hatless still here, or did he take off?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
he's
have
still
no
here.
idea. You
What?
went off on your own into the woods, the deep woods, and it's like the only saving grace is your dog, who's clearly sensing something. So
Yeah.
you have the cheat sheet.
You
and
had
still
the cheat.
failed the test.
Exactly. Thank you. Here you go.
Thank
You had
you.
the cheat sheet. You still failed. the
Hey, buddy.
test. Damn.
Hey, buddy, you just blowing in from Stupid Town?
Shut up.
You be out there and something's like, hey, you got games on your phone?
Well, it's about to say, can I eat you?
Can I eat you? Jeez. I'm gonna eat you! I'm bigger than you and I'm high in the food chain! Get in my belly! I mean, there's something out there that sure as hell ain't Shrek, I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep going.
once we were inside, he didn't want to move. Even when I tried to get him up to go outside to do his business, he sat at the door and cried, wailing at me to let me know he didn't want to go out there. I didn't pressure him. If he pissed
Yeah.
on the floor, so be it.
There you go.
Sandy never acted up before. I could excuse an accident or two if he really didn't want to be out there. It must have been a bear, I thought, before locking the door and
A
calling
bear?
it a night.
Up here? Uh-oh.
The third night is where things went to hell, listeners. And I still don't fully understand what happened.
It's getting closer.
Sandy didn't eat all day. I managed to shoot a rabbit in the early morning, and when Sandy decided he didn't want to be outside any longer, then he had to, and retired inside for the day, I cooked it up, threw a little gravy on it, and gave it
Wait,
to him.
wait.
And retired inside for the day. I cooked it up.
I cooked it up. I threw it in a pot and I ate it. And I threw a little gravy on it.
Take out all the disgusting bits, put in something less disgusting, add a bit
Yeah.
of cinnamon,
Dude, he didn't
Yup.
even bother with you. He just cooked it whole.
throw it into a pot and throw it
Just
on the
do it
highest
there.
possible setting.
Exactly. Jeez.
Exactly,
I
yeah.
burned away the outer crust. I ate
The
it.
outer crust.
Oh, God.
Jesus, dude. Okay, I'm sorry. I know this is supposed to be sad and dramatic, dude, but that scene right there with just the rabbit in the pot boiling, that's fucked up.
Yep.
I'm thinking this guy might be a low-key serial killer, dude. I think whatever the hell's out there should be afraid of you. Can you imagine something like Monster, then it looks in the window, see him doing this shit, and it's like, oh, hell no, I'm out of here.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, yeah, I'm just gonna go find him the moose.
Exactly, man. It's like,
At least the moose don't cook a freaking rabbit in a pot without even
Yeah.
skinning the darn thing.
I know, it's like just picks up the whole damn rabbit and throws in the pot. What the damn thing's like, okay, this
What are you
this
doing?
dude-
What are you doing? No! Stop! No! Oh, God!
Oh,
like
God.
the thing's like, this dude's a low-key psychopath. I ain't fucking with this shit.
Well, look at him looking at it. He has a blank, eerie expression on his face.
He's
He
gonna get
honestly has. He obviously doesn't really care. He obviously wants to kill.
He's supposed to kill.
He has that
He just-
look in his eye.
He's got that
He,
1,000-yard
he's
stare.
got the stance of Muhammad Ali, and the bloodlust of Ted Bundy.
Okay, let's keep going.
Threw a little gravy on it, and gave it to my dog. I
What
didn't
the
do
fuck?
this all the time, but I figured now was a special occasion. Maybe a treat would put him in a better mood for another walk the next day.
Nope.
He didn't touch it.
Sandy didn't touch it. He didn't so much as sniff it. Instead, he sat at my side on the couch, watching the doorway intently. I tucked him under my arms, and he laid his head on my lap, eyes still locked on the door. Close to 3 hours of watching grainy VHS tapes on an outdated television set, Sandy started crying, hugging himself close to my body. Now, this is where my judgment took me down the wrong path for the first time of many.
Okay, if at this point, if you do anything but get the fuck out of there, you're an idiot!
Yeah.
Yeah,
like-
there's
that's
that
like-
Nat Zero perception check.
No shit, dude. Oh my god.
God.
Yeah, cleric ain't gonna help your ass.
No, man. It's like
Paladin ain't gonna save you. Barbarian sure as heck ain't gonna do nothing.
Ubercharge ain't gonna save this shit, dude. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you know what? You're
going.
getting the blizzard treatment.
Let's
Dude.
keep going.
It must sound silly being my dog's protector rather than my dog being mine, but this was my family. I figured if there was something out there that was scaring Sandy so bad, then it was my job to do something about it. I loaded my
Leave!
door and stood in the doorway and waited. I must have waited at least a half hour staring into nothing. There was barely any sound save for the faint buzz of insects and leaves
Behind you.
rustling in the cold autumn wind. Moose aren't elegant creatures,
No, they're not.
and if it were a moose...
A
wait
moose
for it
wouldn't
to come.
freak him out like that.
Yeah.
Around the 40-minute mark, Sandy took off like a shot into the darkness of the trees beyond the path, barking wildly. I started to get worried. Despite my knowledge that my dog isn't entirely helpless in the wilderness, there was bigger animals that would have
What the
liked to get a
fuck?
bite out of him
What?
if there wasn't a lot of food for the winter. I heard Sandy's barks fade away into the distance, and then stop altogether.
That's where you...
I
Yeah,
waited
that's where you
hours
fucked
standing
up.
in the doorway with my shotgun cocked and ready to put down whatever it was that was waiting in the woods.
He said cock.
I waited hours for Sandy to come back to the house. I waited until sun was cracking through the trees, and then I waited until that night, sitting on my porch step, feigning off sleep deprivation to see my dog come back. Sandy did come back. But not for another 3 days.
3 days.
Dang.
Fog had rolled in at that point, and it was getting darker. The night painted the sky a navy blue. Tracking over the last few days proved futile, and I started to get worried that I need to leave and find more provisions to last me the next few nights. I couldn't leave Sandy up there, lost in the woods, cold and probably hungry.
Got another case
The
coming.
thought that he might be waiting out there for me to find him and bring him back home was distressing enough. I was packing the bag that hung on the coat rack next to the door, with what I'd need for the next day's trip. I figured tomorrow would be the last day before I'd go into town and see if my father would help me find Sandy. He was a retired graying man, but I was sure if I brought up Sandy's name, he'd be more than willing to help me search for him. And thankfully, Sandy came back before I'd even finished that train of thought. I saw him from the window on the porch that led down the main road a few dozen feet away from the house. Normally I'd hear him scamper up to the doorway and paw at the door a few times, eager to come in, but this was different. I could see the reflection of his eyes as green pearls in the murky fog that had swamped the house. For a moment I thought it might be an animal, but the outline of his body in the wisps of thick, low-lying clouds was unmistakable. Still,
But it's not him anymore.
despite myself,
No.
I hesitated. There was something different about his body language. I stared out the window for a few
Okay.
more moments before reason overcame my gut instinct.
That dawning
Sandy
comprehension
could be
finally
hurt,
settling
I
in.
Or worse. I flung the doorway open, but he didn't come right away. Instead, he stood there, watching me intently. And when he didn't move, I whistled to him. "Here, Sandy." I coaxed him toward the house. Here, boy. The way he moved was different. It was as though his hips had been dislocated, and the angle of his paws changed direction with every step, as though he'd forgotten how to walk properly. His head was bowed to the ground, but his teeth weren't bared. He didn't seem aggressive. The only way I could describe the way he looked
Skinwalker.
was sheepish. Like he'd just gotten into something he wasn't supposed to, and I yelled at him for it. I thought he might have hurt himself hopping up onto the elevated step if he dislocated his hips, but he did just fine. His back half swung a little, oddly enough, and his paws almost folded underneath himself, but he didn't go sprawling. He sat on the step and didn't take his look off me.
That's not a dog anymore.
It wasn't
Yeah.
until I
No.
moved from the doorway completely, opened the door wide, and waited for him to walk in that he moved. Straight to his bed. He didn't stop at my hand and sniff at me. He didn't wait for pets or jump up on me like usual.
Yeah.
He was straight
Take
to his
that
bed,
gun.
where he
Put
sat
it down.
Well, shoot it.
and watched me for quite some time afterward.
That's not your
Yeah,
dog
that's not
anymore.
a dog. It's not
I
a dog
returned to the movie
anymore.
at hand.
It's a robot.
I called him a few times, but
No,
he
it's
didn't
called a
respond.
skinwalker, dude.
Oh.
His ears
They take
did
the
so
skins
much,
of animals and they wear them to
raised the
become
sound
them.
of my voice,
They also do it to
or the
people,
pat
too.
of my hand on the
Wow.
warm couch beside me. I had missed my buddy,
That thing was out there, and
but I wasn't about to move him
the
physically.
dog was
toward
scared
me.
of it.
There was something about him that said I shouldn't have let him in. But I chalked it up to silliness, and a few hours later I went to bed.
And there's that
The more I
zero
think
perception
back on
again.
it, I don't
Yeah.
recall him blinking once. He sat there like a statue, and when I turned off the light, I could see the reflection of jade green following me as I went into my room and shut the door.
That's not a dog.
No.
I could have sworn I heard him walk in the night. The sound of nails clicking against the wooden floor coming up to the door of my room, but they were slow and deliberate. They weren't like the quickness of Sandy realizing I'd gone to bed and coming to curl up.
Yeah.
I heard the noises stop outside of my bedroom, but I didn't hear his whine. I thought nothing of it and fell into a deep sleep. When I woke in the morning, I figured it must have been a dream. Sandy was still sitting in that upright position I left him in when I went to bed. It was as though he hadn't moved a muscle the entire night, and when I said good morning, he didn't so much as wag his tail. He did follow me into the kitchen, but he paused at the doorway when I put his bowl down on the floor and filled it up with supermarket dog food. Once again, his back half moved weirdly as he slowly made his way towards me. There was a nagging feeling that something was off-putting about the way that he looked that day.
No
It was
shit.
like he'd gotten a little longer overnight. Sandy hunched down again, like when he was walking to the door that night. He didn't come into the kitchen. I figured he must have been hungry being out in the wild for so long, but he eyed me like he was waiting for me to come a little closer, rather than touch the food.
Oh no.
It goes without saying, but after a few moments of a staring contest between me and my unblinking dog, I called off that foolishness and called his name out loudly. Not even a flinch.
That's not a dog.
There ain't no dog.
I didn't want to
Ain't
move
no dog.
closer to my dog to leave the kitchen door. But this was my Sandy, and the most damage he'd ever done was eat flies. Sure enough, as I passed him, he
He didn't
turned,
move.
and his body swayed unnaturally.
The fuck?
But he didn't move towards me.
Those eyes look more human.
When I
now.
left that day,
Exactly.
I
Mhm.
couldn't find anything. The deer tracks in the mud were made a few days prior and went cold off naturally made trails through the woods. I couldn't hear bugs, or birds, or even the howl of a nearby coyote. The only sounds from miles away from the campfire site were my own breathing and the sound of crunching leaves underneath my feet. When the sun started to set, I
Something's got
started
everything
making my way
spooked.
back.
If everything's being quiet, that is not a good sign.
But I should have just
No, it
packed my
isn't.
shit and left. Just behind a cluster of trees, with the house just visible beyond the rise, I figured I'd found out the reason why the animals had abandoned this place.
Yeah.
Generally, when there are mass animal deaths, that usually means that something is wrong in the area of the slaughter, and wildlife are usually smart enough to get the hell out of Dodge.
Yeah.
Even cats are bred instinctively, not...
Apparently, you're not smart enough to get the hell out of Dodge. That's for damn sure. Jeez.
Exactly. Oh God.
God,
How stupid
man.
is he?
Like, I get a whiff of this shit, and I'm just like, peace out, and I
So
just,
you know-
I just fade away.
Dude, I don't mess with supernatural stuff. I don't.
Truly a horror movie
Yeah.
protagonist.
Exactly.
If
Yeah, exactly. Thank you,
your dog,
Atlas.
Like if your dog, okay, you're out in the wilderness, right?
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna give you a breakdown. I'm gonna give you.
Okay,
I'm gonna break
okay.
it down. For you, Mark.
Let's just lay this out. Just lay this all out. All right.
I'm gonna break it down for you, Mark. Anyway, okay, so you're out in the wilderness in Canada in the
Yes.
middle of winter,
Yes.
and it's cold.
Yes. Of course.
Your dog bolts out into the forest.
Okay, wait. I'm gonna pause you right there. I'm gonna say it's Canada. Cold should be assumed all the time. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Now then.
But
Continue,
your dog,
continue, please.
your dog breaks out into a dead sprint into the wilderness.
Yes.
Your first mistake was letting him go.
Got it. Yep.
Your second mistake was not following him to catch him because you don't know what's out there. You sat
True.
there with a shotgun that A, can't take down a moose. 2, let's assume that it's probably a 20 gauge
Probably. Most
because
likely.
he's just
actually.
been
Small
just
game
been
hunting. Small game hunting.
rabbits, squirrels, and stuff like that.
Yeah. Small game hunting. So yeah.
So not already you're not really armed for something.
More serious. Let's say that.
Then
Stop it.
Okay. What?
What?
Walker. What the fuck?
what?
Guys, I think Walker might be having a bit of an episode.
Yeah, probably.
Is Walker speaking to the old ones again?
Sorry about that. I had to tell my cat to stop it.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
So,
your cat.
Your dog
Of-
runs away, disappears for 3 days. Comes
Yes.
back all of a sudden in fog, but you can see his eyes like glare
Yes.
when
a
there's
green
no
glare.
light
Green glare.
because
Green
of the
glare.
sun being in fog.
Green glare, dude. Remember, green glare.
Green, yep.
And when he walks, he doesn't look right.
Yeah.
One, your first mistake was letting that thing, it's not a dog anymore, that thing.
So this would be his
Inside
third
of your-
mistake. That's his third
Yeah.
mistake. Yeah.
Yeah, you let the thing inside. 2,
Yeah.
you went to bed with that thing looking at you.
All
And
right.
3, you didn't keep the lights on.
All right. Shoot.
How are you gonna mess it up even worse?
Who knows?
Like Hatless said. A true horror protagonist.
Yeah.
With the
This is not the
IQ
final
of a
girl.
peach pit. Let's keep going.
I like drinking from water that is close to where their food is, because if you saw a dead animal near a stream, you'd figure the stream was tainted and find another source of water. Hundreds of
what's in that
squirrels
house?
were disemboweled and strewn
Oh,
across
oh.
the grass
Uh,
in almost perfect circle. Most of them were
Oh.
skinned alive, but when I
Like a
turned
ritual.
to heave up all the contents of my stomach,
no.
there were a few dozen that were inside out. I could
What the
help but
fuck?
vomit repeatedly, but
Ah!
I tried my best to walk around the circle of tiny organs and
He
mashed
walks right through
bodies.
it.
Not just
That looks like a
because-
ritual.
but because the smell was ungodly. I didn't know how long they'd been out there. If I'd stumbled across this sooner, I'd have left with Sandy in tow immediately afterward.
Given how stupid you've been so far, I don't
Eventually
think
the
you
body
would have.
stopped and delved off into a random dead squirrel here and there. The biggest thing I managed to find just a few feet off the unholy feeding ground was a deer.
Oh my
It
god.
looked
Oh,
like somebody had
jeez.
decided to skin it alive from hide to neck and drape some kind of skin over a branch like someone was tanning the hide.
You
I
found
don't
its
know
lair.
how long it had been
Yep.
there, but it smelled like it had been dead for quite some time, despite the fact that there wasn't a single fucking fly.
Because the flies know
The
better.
head had been cut clean off just above the shoulders, and when I realized the organs had been removed, I moved from a walking pace through the forest to a jog. Thankfully, the cabin wasn't too far off. I heaved one final time, wiped my mouth off on the back of my sleeve, and looked up to the house to see Sandy.
Watching you.
Yep.
Watching me from the window.
Don't go in there.
I tried to reason with myself. I tell myself Sandy's odd behavior could have been trauma.
You're
I
not
know it's
reasoning with
stupid
yourself,
now,
dude.
but
You're
at the
lying
time,
to yourself.
It was the
Yeah,
only
that's not
reasonable
her.
explanation that I had to keep myself from going insane. The elongating body could have just been loneliness getting to me. Sandy had realized there was something up with this place, and the second he noticed it, I should have taken this warning and taken off back into town.
Yeah.
Once the door was shut behind me, I started packing the food and essentials back into boxes, moving quickly to try and get my things into the truck before night came. It'd be dangerous to try and maneuver my way through the trails at night, as the hills off Kelly's Mountain were steep. And in pitch darkness, with my only companion being my headlights, it would have been easy to slide off a ravine and never be heard from again. I didn't want to stay one more night, but I had no choice. I'd gotten back to the house just moments before the sun finally receded past the horizon, and we were bathed in a navy blue sky once again. I didn't pay attention to Sandy. He just sat at his bed and watched me pack. I figured, no harm, no foul. I'd throw his stuff into the truck in the morning and be back in town before night that next day.
Get that gun ready.
Glancing at him for a moment, there was a passing thought that he was looking a little longer today. And when I went to bed,
Hang up, pause it.
it was a hard time.
That's not something normal you say. My
Yeah,
dog looks longer today.
Yeah, as
Yeah,
opposed to like
that's not
literally 2
normal.
days before. That doesn't happen even when it's in its growth spurt. What the fuck? This guy's definitely that special kind of retarded. I'll tell you that right now.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think he's just in denial.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
No,
seeing
no, he
horrors
can't-
beyond his
he can't-
comprehension.
He
Especially with
can't
the
be,
freaking squirrel circle.
He can't be in denial. He's in Canada. The Nile's in Egypt.
Well, now I just hope you just get gun.
Yeah.
Sorry, not sorry.
Ah, jeez.
I couldn't, man. That was low hanging fruit. I couldn't resist that, man. That was just
No
low-hanging
hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Well, that's in the Garden of Eden, but you can't really get there anymore now, can you?
Nope.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's keep
I'm
going.
getting to sleep for the next few hours.
Ain't no fucking way in hell I'm gonna
It
sleep,
must have
man.
been
Wait,
close
what?
to 4 or 5 in the morning when I finally heard it. The sound of whistling, the same whistling that I used to call my dog. I broke out into a cold sweat when I realized that
Yeah.
whoever slaughtered those squirrels, hung the skin up, left what he didn't need, could have very well broken into my house.
Dude,
The
you
door
let him
opened,
in!
the sound as I opened it slowly.
Ah, jeez.
I waited a moment, listened to someone call my dog for a few more seconds before I dared poke my head out from the door frame just to get a good look at whoever it was. It could have hurt Sandy.
Oh my god.
The outside door was open.
Oh,
I
shit,
saw was
what?
the back
Oh,
half of Sandy,
jeez.
Okay,
Bruh.
that's
long and lanky, almost
Red flag.
coiled around the back of the door. His front half was outside. Whatever it was that had impersonated my dog was whistling slowly, calling for Sandy. When I could have sworn that it had hunched down to the ground again and said,
Skinwalker.
Yep.
"The most
Oh,
ungodly
jeez.
voice I'd ever fucking heard." I closed the door just as softly as I opened it.
Good. You're making good
I
choices
don't know how
now.
long I waited.
Yeah. good luck sleeping tonight.
Yeah.
I don't know, Doge. I don't know how. I don't know.
What?
Doge, I don't know, but I don't think that's a human.
Yeah,
No.
I'll think so either.
Seuss would be like God tier for a freaking
A horror movie? Yes.
Seuss
Yeah.
Sanchez.
Seuss was the fucking goat of that show. Okay.
Seuss was awesome.
Yeah.
Seuss for president. Like, put him in the office.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
Hey, what's this little button do? It says nuke.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Mr. President.
Yeah. No, he was actually smarter than he let on, though. He was actually a lot smarter than most people gave him credit for.
He was a mechanic, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and he also did mechanics, woodworking. He even did internet stuff. He did video editing and stuff like that. Did effects on a computer, and back then it was a lot harder to affect those kinds of effects than it is now. So
Yep.
Seuss was a lot smarter than most people gave him credit for.
Oh no, but I don't look like a dog.
No, that's not the.
That's not normal.
I ate him
Alright.
alive tonight.
Continue.
I love how he just threw out the random shit. I ate a man alive tonight.
I ate a man alive tonight.
That's just like, what the fuck? Oh my god, let's keep going.
I don't know,
As my
Doge. I
backpack
just want
against
those
the door,
brains.
I knew I left my gun in the bag on that coat rack. I know I didn't sleep. I waited until I saw the sun break over the horizon. Then I waited some more until it must have been midday. And I finally got the balls to open the door again. And
Oh,
make a break
jeez.
for the truck.
Go for the truck.
I wouldn't die in that
Leave
place.
the gun.
Sandy
Leave.
was gone and the door was open. His food was untouched, but the fridge was open and all the meat was gone. I didn't bother
Okay,
packing his stuff.
you
I just
son of
threw
a
my
bi-
bag over my shoulder, made my way to the fort as fast as
How much you want to bet he went out and cooked it well done?
I don't know.
You monster!
You son of a...
Jesus, Rocker, you cut out hard there. You cut out hard, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I went out and cooked it. Well done.
You monster!
I could.
We asked
turned
them
on the
politely
ignition.
and
I can't
firmly
describe the feeling
to
that
leave.
overcame
To
me
leave,
as I
there you go.
realized that I'd have to leave Sandy in this place. The thought
Don't
that
care,
he
go.
could be dead was never a thought in my mind. I don't think I could cope with the knowledge that whatever I allowed into my house, whatever disemboweled those animals, could have done the same to him.
And then was wearing his
I made
skin.
my way down the winding paths and roads as fast as I possibly could without veering off the cliffs. I felt like I was turning in circles down this labyrinth that would take me back to that house. But when I reached the pavement on the stretch of road back to town, I felt relief. Thinking I was safe. Just as
in
I
the
was driving
back.
off onto the cement, I felt something hard hit the back windshield, sending broken glass into the passenger seat.
It was in the back of the truck.
The deer's
Oh.
decapitated head catching on unbroken glass and tumbling into the back seat. And I cried for most of the way back home, hands clenching the steering wheel so hard my knuckles were white. I wish I could leave this off with a positive note.
Nope.
I wish I could tell you that I found Sandy at home waiting for me.
This ain't that kind of movie.
That was the end of it. A traumatizing experience in the woods that I'd get over in time. Last night I found it hard to sleep. I kept replaying the entirety of my trip to Kelly's Mountain in my head. I figured I wouldn't be sleeping for a while and laid there, listening to the wind through my open window. I could have sworn I heard the whistle I used to call my dog come from the forest edge. If you go on trips with your dog, guys, I advise you don't let them out of your sight for too long. What comes back might not be your dog.
Oh, boy.
I'm Lappy McLapperson.
Oh, God.
This is Laugh is Laugh. Laugh is Laugh and filmed before a live studio audience. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
And that's where, and that's where it ends.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Laffy McLapperson, and that was Laugh is Laugh. That episode was titled Missing Dog.
Okay.
I don't think that one needs jump scares.
That was just atmosphere. Atmosphere was plenty good enough.
Yeah, dude.
Mm-hmm.
See,
Exactly.
that's the thing. That's the thing. That's what most modern horror movies, they can't do that. They can't give you that atmosphere. No, it's all jump scares. All jump scares all the time. You know, they can't be subtle. They can't
It's like
give you that
jingling keys.
Yeah, you know, they can't be subtle. They can't give you an atmosphere. They can't give you an environment that gives you that feeling, you know? They can't do that anymore. They just don't know how. Because we got the damn TikTok generation that doesn't have a longer than 2 minute attention span. I'm not talking about the people who watch movies. I'm talking about the people who make them.
Ah, what?
Huh? What?
Sorry, what
What-
was
what we
that?
talk-
Hold on,
What are we
I'll
talking
say
about?
that again while I play Subway Surfers real quick.
Jeez.
Oh.
What?
What?
Oh my god.
Oh, geez.
Anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed that. Like this video and subscribe. Definitely click on the link to the original in the
You're
description.
really quiet.
Am I? That's
Yeah.
probably 'cause I had to turn the gain down on my microphone.
Ah.
Sorry about that. Anyway, so like this video, subscribe, guys. Definitely click on the link to the original in the description. Like the original and sub to Plant's channel. It's so weird. He does all these creepy ass videos, and his channel's name is just Plant. You know, that in and of itself provides atmosphere. Anyway, guys, I'll see you guys next time. Tune in every day for new content. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.